So, and you write your own music?
Yeah.
You write the lyrics?
Yep.
Interesting. So that's something that always fascinates me is the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wondered, like I said, the person looking from the outside looking in kind of deal. How does music get started? Do you guys start with the music first as the foundation and then you put the words over top, or do you come up with the words first? Or is it how's your creative process?
Different for everybody, and it really depends on where you're at and what you're doing. So like when I first started writing songs, I was really into like hardcore punk music, and I would just write lyrics for those and like not even to any music. And that kind of helped me like learn how to write lyrics. But so sometimes, one time I wrote a song where I was driving back home from like a recording session for my first album, and I like just had a melody pop in my head and I was singing it, and then I made a song out of it later. And there's other times where I'll have like guitar riffs or chord progressions that I've been sitting on forever, and then I have a lyric that I've written down in my notes that I'll pick out and make a song out of. And there's other times too where I just sit down with a guitar and just start singing, which is very rare and it's kind of hard to do because the first lyrics that come out of your mouth aren't always the best. So
gotta clear the pipes a little bit.
Yeah. So like the more I listen to music, like from like seasoned musicians and stuff like that and really good lyricists, I realized it's not easy. For one, it's actually really hard work, and lyrics to me are the hardest part because you're trying to say something without sounding generic and saying it in your own way. If you want them to be good, at least. Like anyone who can play guitar and knows English can write a song, but whether or not it's going to be good is the difference. So I think that's really important if like for me, like I want to be a songwriter and like make a living out of it. Like that's a really important thing to realize is that it's not easy, and you have to practice your guitar and you have to like practice writing lyrics and kind of just get the garbage out of there sometimes and then scratch it out and write some new stuff, and draw inspiration from things that you enjoy. Like I actually draw a lot of inspiration from video games.
No way.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Like I'll just use words from a game or something, or like there's a game called Skyrim, and it's like an RPG role-playing game. It kind of takes place in this fantasy world of like magic and swords and dragons and stuff like that. And it's like a really cool like setting and like environment. So that game came out in like 2011, and I drew a lot of inspiration from like the nature in that game. So instead of going out into nature, just play Skyrim.
You can explore different worlds from your room.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I guess, inspiration can strike anywhere, right?
Yeah, it really can.
My gifting is not musical, but it's writing. And so I understand that you could be in the shower, you could be on a nature walk or sitting in traffic, and then you'll get a line of something, and it just kind of keeps coming up in your brain or whatever, and then you almost feel like you have to write it down. And then all of a sudden it just starts pouring out, and then some of the most beautiful stories for me when I'm writing come out like that. So.
No, it's true. And I think it's really important to write that stuff down, and I don't always do that in the moment. So
I'll remember.
Yeah, like sometimes I will remember, but there's a lot of times where I'm just doing yard work and I'll get lots of ideas, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm going to like work on this later, and then I just forget about it.
Yeah.
So like you have to be committed to it.
How many $1 million songs have you probably just shrugged off and brushed off?
Probably not many, but I remember I had a vivid dream one time of a song that I had written. I don't remember what it was. I have no idea, but I remember it being really cool. Maybe I wrote it already. I don't know, but I always think about that. It's really strange.